Greetings YouTube, Fuzzfinger here, bringing you more Final Fantasy IV today, and we're going to basically explore the Dwarven Castle which we finished off previously before moving on to our next dungeon. So do stick around and join me, and if you enjoyed today's episode, please remember to support me by hitting that like button and subscribing to the Fuzzfinger Gaming channel. In the last episode we took on some pretty tough boss battles, if you remember. So if I just get a status here, you can see that our party is all the worse off for it. We're struggling a little bit in terms of health. So we've got two choices. We can either head down towards the inn and pay 600 gil for the privilege of healing. But there's actually another thing we can do instead. So from this room just below the throne room, we're going to take the left hand staircase here. And this takes us to the inn area. But instead of staying at the inn, we're going to head down this next staircase here. And head into this open area where we see a dwarf. If we speak to him, he'll let us through another door. A secret door if you like. So that'll take us up to the next floor. And then if we head round here, we can head up the next floor. I don't know exactly what happened there, but I did make a mess up. So we need to go into this door. I thought I did that. And anyway, you can see there's some chests and whatnot. So we'll move over to those. Grab the cottage. In fact, there's a few cottages to grab there. 3 in total. And then we're going to take the stairs at the bottom of this area. And I'm just going to try and see where it is we can go here. Okay, if we head actually through this wall, we can see there's a couple of doors we can make our way through. And we can see there's a dwarf here. Behind him is a pot. If we click this pot, we get HP and MP restore, which is quite rare in this game. Normally, you only restore your MP. But the good thing about this pot as well is if anybody's died, they'll also be resurrected and healed up to full. And there's also an item around here we can grab. A bomb fragment. So the healing pot, sorry not the healing pot, the item that you're going to grab is actually a little bit tricky to find. But if you see this blue floor area around here, then on the top of it, if you just stay on the top and head right, you'll be stopped where you can loot the bomb fragment that I was speaking of. So a bit of a tricky hidden item that, but it is there. And now that everybody has been healed up, it's probably a good idea and a good opportunity now to start looking at some of the augments we've been collecting as of late. So we did recently collect the draw attacks augment ability from the king on the throne of this castle in the last episode. So we're going to go ahead and give that to Cecil here. Does he want to learn the ability? Yes, he does. And then what I'm going to do is give Rydia a couple of these abilities as well, including the bluff ability. And we're also going to give her the fast talker ability. So, same character there. And in terms of what we're equipping of those augments, if we head down to abilities here, first of all, we'll go to Cecil. And I'm going to replace the cover ability with the draw attacks ability. It's basically a better version of it. So we're going to do that first of all with Cecil. And then if we head up to Rydia, since we've just given her some new abilities as well, we're going to equip the Fast Talker. on her, which reduces casting time, as you can see, so pretty darn useful. That's got to be said. I'm just going to see if we can shimmy things down a bit here. Once we've sorted out their abilities anyhow, there's an exit down south here where the healing pot was, and we can just basically exit to save our game, and then we're going to continue on exploring the castle. There we go, nicely healed up. Good to see. So we're going to make our way back around now into the next area, which is where the cottages were that we looted. So another opportunity to grab those if you missed them for, well, whatever reason, I guess. And then we're going to make our way back up to the previous floor to B1. And we're going to go east. So we're going to go to the right hand side. And we can see there's a room full of pots here and what seems to be a nest. We can actually summon the fat chocobo here if we want to, if we have some Geishel greens, but we can also go over to the right hand side here and get some Geishel greens. A lot of these pots basically carry them, 3 of them at least. So you can summon the fat chocobo then. I mean, you probably had Geishel greens before anyway. I think we've got quite a few, haven't we? I've got 10. And he can continue to give you all sorts of information. I guess the most important is the bestiary, so that you can see that you've been keeping up with everything. I know there's one I'm missing because there's that rare mob, which some of you might remember I tried to find, but was unable to do so. So we'll need to find that one in due course, I should imagine. Right, so we're going to exit again to the west, and this will take us back to the inn area. And if you remember, we came in from the south when we first entered this inn room, but now we're going to exit to the left hand side. And this will bring us into the tower area, where we're going to just hit the stairs straight away and go up to the next floor. And another number of large pots. And one of these does contain an item for us, but we have to access it from behind. And it's a Bacchus's wine, so we'll go ahead and pick that up. And then we're going to make our way up the next floor, which is a little bit confusing. There's, as you can see, 4 chests. The first one, pretty easy to grab, just head to the west. And that gives us a high potion. Okay, so we're going to have to do this in a very specific way. It's quite frustrating. So in between the stairs and the first chest here, the room with the first chest, there's a hidden path which we can go up, but it stops us at this point. So we head to the left here, then up and around, and then down and out into the top chest, which has an elixir. So we'll go ahead and pick that up. And then we're going to come down here. And we can actually head down now and around. And we can make our way back into this south section here. There we go, from the western side of this room for a black belt gi. And then we're going to continue just basically making our way around the path here. Just try, I think we go to this one from the south actually. Let me just test that. Yes, we do. And we get an ether for the final item here. That black belt G, by the way, is something we're going to want to throw straight away onto Yang. So we'll go ahead and equip that. And we can basically just backtrack around now in order to return to the previous floor. And we're just going to exit this tower completely. But we're not going to exit out of that side, we're going to exit straight down the middle. And this will take us outside here, which will then allow us to basically cross over to the same or similar tower on the other side. And straight away there's a chest, how lovely. It's a dwarven axe, so we'll go and pick that up. And then we can head up the stairs. So there's a few pots here. And I think one of them has an item. Just have to find out which one. I believe it's over on this side, so if we can make our way through to there somehow, that would be pretty darn helpful. Okay, if we head down south, looks like we can do it. And it's this one here. Another Barkas's wine. But that's the only other item, well that's the only item we can get from this set of stairs there. So we're going to head back up. And look, it's one of those exciting rooms again. So we're going to first of all grab the ether from the top chest. And then there should be a secret path around here somewhere. Over on the left hand side. There it is. So it's actually hidden in the archway. South now. And then we can come out for the second chest. A power armlet. And then we'll just grab the third chest, which isn't really a secret, is it, if we're going to be honest? So we'll get that first. So we need to grab the next chest. No surprise, it's through the eastern part of the archway. And that power armlet, by the way, another useful item for Yang. Gives him a nice damage boost at the slight cost of a defense. But we're going to head back now to the first floor. So down another set of steps. And this time we're going to head down the right hand staircase, which we haven't yet visited. And here we have the weapons and armour shops. And a lot of this equipment is going to actually be an upgrade. But unfortunately, I guess because of the area that it's in, this castle, it's going to be weak because it's mostly fire enchanted weapons and whatnot. It's not going to do as much good. But one thing I do recommend is this rune armlet. You'll want to get one of those for Rosa, as you can see. Not for Yang, despite his upgrade sign. The reason being is that Yang's power armlet we've just equipped gives him a nice strength boost, which doesn't show on that upgrade since it only shows defense for the armlets. So hopefully that makes sense anyway. In terms of selling, we can sell quite a lot of stuff actually, if we haven't already. Basically, anything like fire shards, blood lances, mithril hammers, wooden hammers, Gaia hammers, healing staff, lustrous shields, ruby rings, the Kempo G we just got rid of. Pretty much anything, in all honesty, that we're not really going to be using again. The silver armlet, we can get rid of that. Once you've finished with the shops, you can see that in between the two shops there's actually a door we can go through. And this is the Laley Hope pub, which looks pretty boring. There's not even a bartender or even a tap, so we won't be getting a drink here today by the looks of things. But what can we do? Well, there's actually an interesting section here, an interesting room if you like, and that's found in a secret place to the east corner, which takes us downstairs and into a secret area known as the developer's office, which is a very strange place, I'll say that, and there's going to be lots of stuff for us to do here which we need to do in the correct order really. So I'm going to get my bearings and be right back with you. So first of all, we're going to have to follow quite a few steps, and I've got them just up in front of me so that I don't get them messed up as I do this. Basically, once we've completed this little section, we'll unlock a new augment ability, so it is worth doing. We're going to start. This random battle is fine. Just make sure you stick auto battle on, and it should do the job for you, although you only have to kill this thing. It's a special encounter, this is. You'll need to do it at least one time, but it can be done, I believe, at any time during the steps that I'm going to be sharing with you. So a very strange area this, isn't it? The developer's office. Very strange indeed. After a few hits, it's going to reveal its name as a game designer. Yeah, the rewards aren't exactly, perfect for that encounter, but it is something we need to do anyway. Right, okay, so actually quite interesting. I'm playing the Steam version of Final Fantasy IV, and the Steam version is the same as the iOS version as well. But if you're playing the DS version of this game, then the developer's office is actually, it's different to how you do this, because the NPCs are different and they're scattered around in different places as well. But basically for the version that we're playing, which is Steam and or iOS, we just need to speak to all of the NPCs in this area, and they're basically named after developers of the game. So it's a bit of an Easter egg, definitely breaks the fourth wall, especially later on, as you're going to see. But basically, if you get a choice of answering yes or no to them, answer yes. Occasionally you're going to be thrust into battle, just like the battle we entered a moment ago. If that happens, just defeat it with auto battle and everything should be good. You can't escape the battles, unfortunately. So you're going to get a lot of random stuff happening. We'll speak to this little guy here, and he's one of the ones that we do have to actually fight. This is Moo. I'm Moo, a planner here. I do lots of different things. I like adjust layouts and butts. Guess I'll finish my drink. Yeah, a lot of the conversations in here are going to be very strange. So don't be confused by the fact he's asking for a drink. We're just going to kill him as quickly as possible. Now, I'll have a fiver for your trouble. And we'll just stick auto battle on. Ah, critical. From a character that does rubbish damage. Typical. You can't die in this place, by the way. It's just not possible. Even if you get killed in battle, then basically you're alive again afterwards. It really isn't an area you have to worry about. Other than the fact that it can draw your patience out because you don't get any rewards for these fights or anything. But we do get a new augment at the end of it, so it is worth it. So once again, 0 gil, 0 experience. It tells us that we need to speak to everyone. That's what we're going to do anyway. This guy is Niyama, and he does everything except planning, programming, design and sound. So yeah, he's a busy chap then, isn't he? And then we speak to Riezo, and she wants to know if we think she's pretty. We'll indulge her and say that we do. I think this might be one that we have to fight as well. So again, pretty easy stuff this. Just going to stick auto battle on. And don't bother using any items here to heal up or anything. There is going to be a place a little bit later on in this room where we can heal up. And that's pretty much the end of this encounter. At least I thought it was. I think if we just patient now, this guy will run off. No, apparently not. We do need to attack him again. Oh, these battles. They're so pointless. Say hello to this guy. A sound that should be familiar. And in this room we just chat to everyone. They don't have much to say. This guy gives a bit of an innuendo, so I'm not going to comment on that. He likes spicy meat buns. Yeah, he shouldn't be thinking about those. And we come into the music room. Again, this is just an easy place where we can just talk to everyone. We don't have to do anything else. And finally, the mage over here, called Haunted House. How peculiar. Right, anyhow, we can exit this room once we've spoken to all 4 of those NPCs. And then we have the fat chocobo over here. The fat chocobo is where you used to store your items in the older Final Fantasy games. And then we can head down into the south room, and this is the final area of the developer's office. And it's very important that we talk to this chocobo before speaking to the other characters in this area. So as I said, you can go ahead and heal here. Well, I didn't say that, but I did say there was a place where you could do so, and it is here. In fact, there's no point doing that at all because of something that's about to happen. If you loot this bookcase, you'll get an item by a peculiar name of the Lustful Lally-Ho. Okay, now we chat to this goblin creature. He wants to eat the chocobo. Right then, and finally we chat to this fellow, and this is going to be another forced encounter. Definitely breaks the 4th wall. Fujimo really wanted us to know that he plays the game. Made the game even. And we get an achievement as well if this is the first time we have done this. So this is an encounter you can't win. The quicker this guy hurries up and owns us, the better, because we can get back to doing what we love doing. So every time you attack him, he'll counter with Thunder Guy. You can't escape these battles either. But as I said, don't worry, you can't die. The party has fallen. So long as you've done everything correctly, the new augment will be available for looting after that encounter. And it's the reach augment. If you are playing the DS version, then once you've looted the item off this bookshelf that we looted, you need to go back to the previous area, and you should be able to put it on this table, somewhere around this table anyway. And once you do that, someone will come and take it, and then you go back down to that room where we just fought that fellow, and you'll see the augment to take then. So it's a little bit different, but that's how you do it there. But honestly, I think we've pretty much covered this castle now. So we can just exit back through the secret passageway here. And back out again. So we're going to leave the episode here for today, folks. I guess one thing I can do actually before we finish is just show you how to equip ready for the next set of challenges we're about to be facing. And for Yang, make sure he's got the Hell Claws and the Ice Claws. And then Rosa, dear Rosa, is going to require the Ice Arrows. So we'll throw those on. Obviously there's going to be a lot of fire enemies around here. And then head outside and save your game. Right folks, so that's it for me for today. So thanks for joining me, and come back soon as we continue on with Final Fantasy IV. Cheers folks, bye for now.